Hello again, and welcome to a Phantom of Truth. I'll see you in hell, chat. 0, it's an event. Commits for 2 fists, so that's pretty cool. It's a spirit. Each non-elite enemy engaged with you is defeated. You are defeated as well and suffer 1 physical trauma. This action does not provoke attacks of opportunity.
This card is like, what is it? My guts. Overpower with upside. Mm-hmm. With a different upside that kills you.
Different upside. Yeah, this card, so initially, you thought, killing yourself, eh?
That's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. But it turns out sometimes you're going to die anyway.
Yeah, sometimes it's real good.
And you're like, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll play like my let me handle this and take that monster, and I'll engage your monster and take a shit ton of attacks of opportunity and fuck all these guys.
Yep. No,
They're gonna kill
sometimes
me anyway.
it's a good board clear.
I think your mic's not on you. It's all good. Yeah, no, that's the point. Like, if you're gonna die, do it in style.
Yeah. It's also very good if you're playing Dunwich.
Yes, you told me that Undimensioned and Unseen.
Yes, they are not elite. The children of Yog-Sothoth.
Yep, but Yog-Sothoth, you can just kill them with this.
You can just kill them.
Man, how many?
This card's better than it looks. You should play when you get the. You should try it.
Well, because even
and this is really a temperament card. It's like you either like it or you don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, also the fact that the upside of Guts is drawing a card, which is nice, but isn't so much that
drawing a card's almost always good. Whereas killing all the enemies at your location and yourself is much. It has a much higher ceiling, but also a much higher floor.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, because seeing this and this is changing how because when I first started playing, I was like, skills are the best. But seeing this now, I just run this over Guts because drawing a card is nice, but having this emergency panic button that replaces the draw a card thing is just worth more to me as a player.
Sometimes.
Yeah. It depends how many people are playing.
If you're playing Calvin, it's also really good because you can just start the next game with some damage on you. You don't have to go find it.
Yeah.
Just first turn. Boom! Yeah. I'll see you in hell, everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting card, and I agree with Travis. Try it out. I want to try it out.
Next card, 45 automatic, 2 XP version. Forward play, commits for a punch and a foot. Item, weapon, firearm, uses 4 ammo. Action, spend ammo. Fight, you get +2 punch for this attack. It deals +1 damage. Ignore the retaliate keyword for this attack. It's a pretty solid upgrade. So it's just
a
nothing fancy. It's
just better.
Yeah, it's
it
just
even
solid.
discards for an additional icon. If
good.
it said that you got to ignore the retaliate keyword as a separate line of text, it would be much better. You could use it with your brass knuckles to be like, let me hit you, and when the guy's like, I'll hit you back, you're like, that.
Yep. No, this card is... I mean, if you have a 45 automatic in your deck, you should play this one when you have the experience for it.
Yeah.
This card is slightly less good if what you are trying to do is shoot a secretary 3 times.
It is. You are much less likely to fail.
Yeah, that is.
So if that's why it's in your deck,
that's something you're trying to do. You know.
It's a good weapon made better and doesn't hurt to run.
Logical reasoning. 2 to play, commits for 2 brains. Play only if you have at least 1 clue. This one's also an insight. Choose an investigator location. That investigator
fucking all are.
either heals 2 horror or discards a terror card from his or her threat area. This card is so good.
Yeah, so sometimes when you're playing with a goon who has really low brain and they're like, I'm frozen in fear, you can be like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
There's nothing under the bed. Come on, let's go.
Snap have it, bud. It's a guts at worst. What yellow character doesn't have a clue at some point?
Yeah. If you don't have a clue, that's a whole different problem.
Because you don't even need to spend the clue.
No. You see that? It's so good. Anyway. Yeah, you should play this in your yellow decks.
Yeah, it's like emergency aid, but the other way around.
Yeah.
It also, once again, has 2 symbols, which means you can play it in place of Guts.
Any card that has 2 symbols, almost any card that has 2 symbols is, at the very worst, worth evaluating.
Yes, 100%.
Then we got the Archaic glyphs, which I think we kind of talked about before.
But now we can talk about, how they are. So
these are for Akachi.
Yeah, commits for book and brain, 3 charges.
This one makes you into Rex.
Spend 1 charge, investigate every 2 points you exceed by discover what additional clue.
What if you already are Rex? You walk into a location and the game's like, there's 8 clues here, and you're like,
I have 8 clues.
There's no clues here.
I have 8 clues.
Yeah, there are 8 clues on me.
I mean, I like this one.
This is actually kind of insane with higher education.
Yeah, well, we talked last time about a big thing with the alchemical solution, how we didn't like how the cards basically just let Seekers do everything they couldn't.
Yeah.
This one's a lot better because it lets Seekers do what they do so much better, right?
Yeah.
Which is nicer, which is better from like a game design standpoint.
Yeah, so it's not a better card, but it's a better game design. But yeah, no, this one, like, with higher education, lets you pay a resource to get, like, a clue, basically.
Yeah, like effectively take a clue off your location.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Unless you're Norman Withers, in which case, fuck you, you can't play either of them.
But I can cast Zippity Zob.
This
Yeah, but
Prophecy
you can
Foretold,
cast Astral Travel.
Prophecy Foretold Archaic glyphs is, like, worse.
Spend one charge investigate. If you succeed, you may automatically evade an engaged enemy. I mean, like...
I think it depends how heavy your team is on combat.
It's not awful, but
Right.
I think, like, generally, for most characters you could play, there's going to be better options for dealing with enemies than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, if you're playing this weird, like, single-player Seeker that you need a way to run away from things, this is a good way of doing it, right? But
There's better options.
there is
so-
better options, yeah. But I mean, like, this one's cooler because you spent
I
three
think-
actions and 3 cards to do it.
I think if you're going into Archaic glyphs, you want, like, the Rex one.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. 100%. I mean, I also don't feel...
Yeah, this one might be better if you are playing in the Forgotten Age.
Maybe a little bit.
Yep.
Like, running away from snakes is kind of important. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Kill snakes bad.
It's really weird, though, with the Forgotten Age because
Fight snakes also bad.
all the snakes are, like, really at the beginning. It's like, you really have to run away from the snakes in the jungle when you're the least prepared.
Too many spoilers.
Yeah.
You don't want to ruin it for people. Like, that cycle's actually kind of new, and not, like, this one that's been out for a year.
I mean, like, Yig, snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, the other one is better. I also think that, once again, going back to my review for the glyphs unread, it's not really worth the time.
No. Like, this one's not bad. It's just, it's not worth putting the experience and the time into, whereas the other one might be.
Yeah. And even then, like, the addendum, I just still think it's a lot of time and effort to make it be upgradable.
First
Cheap
cheap
shot.
card. Yep.
Cost 2, it's an event, commits for a fist and a foot. It's a trick. Haha. Fight. Add your foot value to your skill test. If you succeed by 2 or more, automatically evade the attacked enemy.
Wow. The flavor text is aimed for the eyes, they told me, and the monster in the thing has a lot of eyes.
So just throw it in.
So, like,
Pocket
fuck, I
sand.
guess. Yeah, right.
So,
It's a trick, which means that the new girl can play it.
yeah.
I don't know anything about this card.
I don't think it's that, like,
It's
it
okay.
reads better than it is.
Okay.
Because,
You don't get to add any extra damage to your fight,
yeah.
so you're only going to
resources a
score a
lot.
point.
Yeah, 2 resources are like, it's a lot. And, like, it's a card in your hand that is, I had it more dead than I did alive.
Yeah, if you're skids, it's probably pretty okay.
Yeah, because I was playing it with Finn, and he just evades like a golden dawn.
You don't need to play cards that say you can evade this for free as well. You just get to evade for free.
So like
It's
with
what you
Skids,
do.
it's a lot better, or like Jenny also.
Yeah, Skids or Jenny, where you get to like test at 7 or 6 respectively.
But like if you have high feet already, it's not worth the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
This is
all I
one
have
of
to
them
say.
binder fodder cards, is what I'm hearing.
No, it's a bit above binder fodder. It's not like astral travel.
Okay.
There is a
Yeah,
use for
like,
it for specific characters.
you
While
could-
astral travel is literally
Yeah.
nothing.
This
Yeah,
is like an
if you're,
option for like if you don't have all the packs and stuff.
If you're up against an enemy who has a much lower fight value than their evade or is alert but doesn't have retaliate, then like those are.
There's also good
places that this is
times.
good.
There was also good times like when we, if for example, Bryn has a big monster and I come in as Finn and I can attack, damage, and also evade it so it doesn't attack him. But
Yeah.
once again, very niche. I don't
Yeah.
like having to jump through hoops for my cards to be good.
It does.
right?
It does allow you to evade a monster that is not engaged with you,
Yes, which is cool.
which is pretty much like the thing this card does.
Yeah,
That's kind of yeah.
you have to get 2 or more though. That's
Right.
the thing. It's
Yeah,
not
you do
just
have to
succeed.
It is part of that 2 or more archetype that Green is kind of working on. But
No, they haven't committed to
This
it
one's
yet.
also part of that tumor archetype, but like also just generally really,
yeah,
really
it's
good.
just
Cost 2, pickpocketing, asset 2 foot, talent and illicit. It's fast. As a reaction, after you evade an enemy, exhaust it to draw 1 card or gain 1 resource. If you succeed by 2 or more, do both.
I haven't played green cards. I can tell this card is great.
Yeah.
Only two resources. Okay, it is a lot for like it's a lot for an event, but not so much for a permanent asset. Commits for 2 foot. Important. It's a manual dexterity at worst. It's fast. Doesn't cost an action to play. Replaces itself into, like if you succeed by 2 or more. No, we'll say on average it replaces you in 2 successful evades.
Yeah. on average. Yeah.
Can we just talk about how awesome this card is if you're playing Finn? You're like, I'll play this for free. I'll evade you for free. I'll gain 2 things.
Yeah, no, Finn's like the green Rex, but like not quite as good still.
Can we also just talk about how it's not good in Finn when you don't want to draw cards from your deck?
Oh man, yeah. Okay.
So don't be a baby. I like to succeed, but not too good.
But yeah, it's very good. Yeah, it's...
Yeah, there are definitely times.
And I mean, like, I recommend everyone... Like, Finn has probably been my favorite character I've played, because I played him twice back-to-back.
He's possibly the best green investigator in the game. Skids is also very good.
But only for solo play, kind of.
Well, you know, like, sometimes you get to take 5 actions in a turn, and that's pretty alright.
Yeah, so actions are worth more as a single player, though.
Pickpocketing in a green, you will be evading. It pays itself back. It's great. Quantum Flux.
It sounds cool.
It's an event that is wild. Commit for anything. As an insight, shuffle your discard pile into your deck and draw 1 card. Remove it from the game.
So remove for the game is different from exile, and you don't have to pay experience to put it back.
Yeah, it's just this put aside.
Yeah.
And you gotta look at it and be like, I played that.
Discards, like... I'll be honest, I don't entirely understand where this would be good.
Dunwich Legacy.
Dunwich, yeah, exactly. Like, sometimes the game's like, if you have no cards in your deck, you'll explode. And
That's
you're
the
like,
only time it has the use.
man.
As even like shuffle a different investigators, discards only yours. God.
I mean, like, maybe you also have a moment where it's like, I've drawn everything. I have 5 cards left. My weaknesses are here. See you later. Like, but even then, you're going to just draw your weaknesses next turn because that's how it works in the world. Committing for a wild is nice.
I'll be honest, I don't think I'm ever going to play this card.
I agree.
It's an insight, so if it sat in your graveyard ever, you could play it.
If you commit for the wild. Oh, baby.
Like, maybe there's one day an archetype...
This even costs a resource to play.
Yeah. Like, maybe one day there's an archetype, but right now, I don't see it. I'm with Travis. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe I'll put it in just to fuck with Yogg-Sothoth one day for fun.
Yeah,
but even then...
I'm pretty sure in Carcosa there is a segment where, like, the bullshit tokens fuck you harder if you have more cards in your discard.
So maybe, like, if you're, like, a green-purple like adaptable...
you could, like, use it to reset that, I guess.
But, like, even that...
I don't know. I don't think that's worth a card and a resource.
I mean, it is a cool...
It's also an action.
It's a cool card that they designed.
Yeah. I'm branding it binder fodder for now.
I agree.
Recharge. 0 cost event, 2 experience, commits for 2 brains. It's a spell. Choose a spell or relic asset controlled by an investigator at your location. Reveal a random token from the bag. If you reveal a bullshit token, discard the chosen asset. Otherwise, add 3 charges to the chosen asset.
So you get to pay experience for it, and then when
this
you
is
play
like guts, but bad.
Sometimes it says you fucking lose.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of purple cards like that. They're like,
although I guess,
maybe...
well, I mean, like if it's
if it's empty, yeah,
there's really
discarding
nothing.
It is not.
It should be
terrible.
It should be fast, in my opinion.
Sick with premonition.
Yeah, it should be fast. This card should be fast, I think.
Mm-hmm. One thing to note about this card is like there are 2 other cards in this cycle that are intended to work with Akachi that are very, very high impact and are probably intended to play with this. Suggestion, which is like is basically evade with your brain. It can also dodge attacks. And Arcane Insight, which is like a flashlight spell that uses charges. This is like very strong support for both of those.
Yeah. I mean, like I feel like
that's a lot of experience saying to things, but like purple decks are generally pretty high experience.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And like, worst case scenario, you play it and discard a spell that doesn't have charges, right?
Oh man, what if you choose the Key of Ease and then you put charges on the Key of Ease because you can?
So powerful.
Sometimes you get your level 5 Shriveling, you play this and then you're like, I'll mind melt you.
I mean, I wish it had fast. I think that's the thing it's really missing because I don't want to spend an action doing this. I don't want to spend an action to possibly just gorp something.
Yeah.
Madame Lebrun.
She's your patron.
Foxy little lady.
Oh, she's red.
What do you think she's doing in there? She's like, hello, come on in. Cost 2, it's an asset, commits for a book. She has 2 meat, 2 brain. She's an ally. She has 2 lightning bolt abilities. If you have no cards in your hand, exhaust her to draw 1 card. If you have no resources, exhaust her to gain 1 resource. I mean, she seems pretty good.
Every time I've ever played her, it's been so that I could stand behind her and have people shoot at her and not me.
No, that's just it. She's like a soak for brain and heart, and then she can get you things sometimes.
Yeah, she doesn't cost experience, so that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, no, I think she's pretty solid.
2 for a 2/2. is definitely a place I'm okay being.
Yeah.
Like I've played Dr.
Like,
William T.
yeah.
Nelson because he's 1 for 2/2.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also
And, like,
like
never uses
he's
the
yellow,
other.
so like
So like,
on the
what is
base,
it?
he's not free.
Dark Horse is the one that cares they don't have resources, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you could take advantage of a Dark Horse turn, and you have a thing that costs 2. You could then use her to gain 1 at the end of the turn and pay.
Yeah, you could use her in a Dark Horse deck to play. There's a bunch of red events that cost 1 to play. So if you're playing a Dark Horse deck, you could sit there with no money.
Yeah.
And then like if you fail your test, you use her fast ability and you play your lucky.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I mean, like she's like all of her text
Yeah.
reads good.
yeah, none of this is bad.
Yeah. I mean, maybe she would
All
give you.
this is good.
If she'd give you experience when you put her in your deck, that'd be great. But you can't. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to try her. I've never played with her,
Yeah,
but
she's
she
she's
seems
certainly not
good.
bad.
legit.
Like most of what I've done with her is just play the 2 mana 2/2, or the 2 cost 2/2.
Next card is
Snare Trap. 2 and 2 experience. Commits for. It's an event. Commits for brain and foot. It's a trap and it's improvised. Attached to location, limit 1 per location. Forced. After non-elite enemy enters attached location, exhaust that enemy, disengage it from all investigators, and attach Snare Trap to it. Forced. When attached enemy would ready, instead discard Snare Trap.
Okay, so for this card, you have to spend 2 resources. No, sorry, you have to spend 2 experience to put it in your deck. Then you have to spend 2 resources in a card to play it. Then you have to, you can only have 1 in your location. You have to lure an enemy there. And then
Non-elite?
Yeah, non-elite. And then it gets locked up for 2 turns.
Okay.
So unlike Madame Lebrun, where she has a lot of text and it's all pretty good, this has a lot of text and it's all pretty bad.
Yeah.
Once again, how many hoops you have to jump through. And it has no reviews. That's how you know there's not one person who's like, no, this card's good, and then someone else being like, actually, this card's bad.
Yeah.
No, like I suppose you could play this with.
Like it triggers when the enemy enters the location, so you can't even like put another one down underneath him. Like, I think the
Yeah.
only world this could potentially be good is if we get an investigator who like cares about improvised garbage.
Yeah, or like if you're playing Dunwich
Still,
and you got some Brood of Yogg-Sothoths, and
Those
you're
should be
like,
elites.
maybe we don't want this guy to do anything while we sit around in a circle and try to kick him to death.
so it's like it's not
Like,
worth
it's not,
it.
no,
And
it's
like
not
the only
good.
other, I mean, like like the only other time I'm thinking of is like any sort of scenario where the locations are linear, like for example,
The train.
the train or
Or
the
the one where
Italy
you
one.
climb, the one where you
Yep.
climb the hill.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like even then, like you know what also does this? Evading. Like sure, you don't get the extra bonus, but you
Yeah.
don't have to spend 2 experience and 2 resources and an action to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Card's trash.
what a good note to end Phantom of Truth on. Thanks for watching.